I wish there was, Jim. I think a lot of it is just coming out of spring training, and no matter what you do to try to emulate the season, I think once you get in the season and the intensity kicks up, I think it takes a couple starts to really get into that. And I think, once in a while, guys, there's a reality check, and it's like, oh my God, we're in the season now, we got to get going. So, and there's something to be said for that, because there's nothing like the intensity of a major league game and competition. And unless you've been out on the mound, unless you've gone through it, most people wouldn't understand it. But I think more than anything, that's probably it. And also, physically, you get in shape. I know we get in shape in spring training, but it's a little bit different when you, after that first or second start of the season, when it really counts. There's just a different reaction to the muscle groups and everything that goes on.
There's been an increase in the efficiency, certainly with the starters. You have 11 starts of at least 7 innings in just 18 games in May. Is that in part what you're describing, where April they found where they were going to be, their niche, if you will, and now in May they're executing it?
Well, yeah, we hope so. You like to think that's the plan, but, and I think you and I talked previously, coming into the season, one of our goals was to try to get the starters a little bit deeper into the games, to get that second and third out in the 7th inning, to get through that, to save us a reliever, to keep those guys fresh down there. So, for the most part, that's been okay. Now, the question is going to be, can we continue that? Obviously, I don't know we can continue at that rate, but I think we have those 5 guys in the rotation that come up and are capable of doing it. So you hope they do.
All right, and with those 5 guys in the rotation, Ubaldo goes tonight. You've been working with him since the beginning of last year, then in September, altering his mechanics a bit, then in spring training, Ramon Martinez comes in to help you out. He's been beyond consistent. Now, has it been just one little thing, like one little adjustment mechanically that has made it all click?
No, I think it's been a combination of things. I think, Ubaldo being the guy he is, he was probably more upset than anyone last year the way it turned out for him. He went back to the Dominican this winter and back home and did a lot of throwing. The fact that I think he only had maybe 120 plus innings last year, probably come in a little bit stronger and fresher than normal. And Ramon certainly has been a big influence on him from spring training right through the season. And we try to keep him with us, especially when Ubaldo's going to take the mound. So, and Ubaldo himself has made a tweak or two in his mechanics. Nothing major, no major overhauls, but a combination of things. And it's funny, and I'm sure you guys can tell as well, when you look in his face, you see a different guy. There's a whole aura about him this year that just wasn't there last year.
Coming into the game tonight, you're coming off that game yesterday where, because of the rain delay, you had to use 6 of the 7 relievers. Is there any concern about the relievers and their availability tonight?
Well, we might hold back on a guy or two, but really, and it's funny because we just talked about the starters going 7 innings, and then you look back and say, oh my gosh, the workload on the bullpen hasn't been quite as much as you almost want it to be, so they get regular work. So you're always in a catch-22 with the pitching staff. It's either too much, too little. But I think, to answer your question, I think we're okay for tonight. The key will be, getting a little bit deeper in the ball game than Ubaldo has in the past. But if we get the start we've got most of the year out of him tonight, I think we'll be okay.